Okay, let's take a look at our two examples, and then I'm going to work a couple of these with you, and I'm going to let you finish them up. Okay, let's take a look at example A. If we look at example A, we see that we have the same base working. We have a base of x, and they are being brought together by addition. So if we wanted to write that as a single log, what would we do with the 5 and the 20? We would multiply them together, right? That's your multiplication property. So if we brought those together, we would have log base x of 100 equal to our 2. Then we're going to take our log form and rewrite it back into our exponential form. So we take our base in this case is the x. We raise it to the power of 2, and that equals 100. So that's just our rewriting back into exponential form. And then at this point, you will be ready then to solve for your x. So if we've got x squared equal to 100, but we want x, what do we have to do to both sides? Square root. So we would just square root both sides, and that would give us x equals 10. Okay? And so you have solved it. So in this case, you used your multiplication property of logarithms to solve an equation. Okay? Let's take a look at our second example, example B. Example B, they both have a base of 8. They are being brought together by subtraction. So what would you do with the x and the 4? We would bring them together as division, right? So that gives us, when we combine them right here, that gives us log 8 of x divided by 4 equal to our negative 1. Now, you notice that your exponent in this one is a negative, so you know that you are eventually going to end up with a fraction. So now let's do the rewrite. So if we do the rewrite, we have our base of 8 right here. So we have our base of 8 equal to our, raised to our power of negative 1 equal to our answer, our argument. Okay? But we're not going to leave 8 to the negative 1. What does that negative tell you need to do with your base? That means you need to, means you need to drop your 8 down to your base. So you're going to take that 8 to the negative 1 power, and we rewrite him as 1 over 8. And now you're ready to solve. And in this case, actually, and some of them will end up that way. In this case, this is just actually nothing more than a proportion, right? So in this case, you can just do your cross multiplication and divide that out. Okay. And that would give you your 1/2. Okay? So an example of the multiplication property, an example of the division. Okay? So let's come down. Let's take a look at our first one. I'll get you started on that one. We have log base 3 of 9 plus log base 3 of x plus 2 equals 4. Which property are we going to use on this one? This one is going to be a multiplication. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to combine. So we combine that into log base 3 of 9 times our x plus 2 equals the 4. So you need to multiply this out. How are you going to multiply the 9 times the x plus 2? Distribute. So we'll distribute that. What's that leave you with? Okay, so we combined. Now we're going to rewrite this thing. We're going to put it back in exponential form. So when we do our rewrite, we always start with our base. What's our base? 3 to the power of 4, and that equals 9x plus our 18. Okay. And then at this point, you are pretty much ready. You might want to do one more step then, and then you're ready to solve for your x. Okay? And I'll let you finish that up here in a minute. Let's go down to number 3. Let's take a look at number 3. I'll get you started on that one. 3, we have 4 times the log base 9 of 3 equals x. Which property have they used on this one? Think about this one. Okay, this is the one, you hear what she said? This is the one where they have the exponent. So yes, this is the power property. Where did the 4 come from? The 4 actually started off being that power, that exponent, right? So we are going to rewrite this, and we're going to put the 4 back as an exponent. We're going to kind of reverse ourselves, okay? So if we do that, then that's going to leave us with log base 9 of 3 to the 4th power equals our x. So what you want to do is you want to take that 3 to the 4th power and you want to go ahead and multiply that out. So if you multiply that out, 3 to the 4th power is going to give you what? 81. Okay? So then after you do that 3 to the 4th power, then rewrite and solve. Okay, I want to get you started on one more. Okay, number 6, which log property are you going to use? This one will be division. They have the same base of 4 and it is subtraction. So let's combine. So if we combine, we have log base 4 of, so we have the x squared minus the 12x divided by what? Oh, divided by x equals 1. Okay, so we need to bring in some of your Algebra 1 skills up here. Looking at that x squared minus 12x, what can we do? Okay, yeah, so we have an x squared here and an x, so yes, you see what he's saying? You have a greatest common factor, right? We always check for greatest common factors. They both have that x, so we're going to factor that x out. I'm just going to come over here and do it to the side. So we factor that x out. What's left inside the parentheses when you factor that x out? What are you going to have left here? X minus 12. Okay. You still have your denominator. You still have your x. We can do a little more simplifying over here. What can we do?
Cancel out the x.
Yeah. Now we put that into multiplication form, so now they are, if they're attached by multiplication, they're fair game. Yes, once that's out. So cancel those out. Move that back over to what you had on this side. So you had log base 4. Now all you have left here is the x minus 12 equal to your 1. So now you're ready for your, is it right? So now you're ready for your rewrite and solve. So let me rewrite. See if it'll let me do and solve. Okay. Now you're going to finish those up on your own.